Okay, what's up, everybody? We are having some issues today, and I'm gonna have to look into this, but I'm hoping first we can do a show. So let's see what's happening here. Alright, we are back. I'm really sorry about the issues today. I think we have volume. Please let me know in the chat. But we just lost... I lost my audio feed. And I think it's a hardware issue, but I think we're up and running right now. So I'm going to try to do a show, and then I'm going to look into this on a more extensive end. I got my handy person, Lucy, here. Loud and clear. All right, good. All right, so everything's good. Sorry about this, but we're going to... What's up, Shannon? What's up, Tim? What's up, Sean? Good to see everybody. We're going to jump right in, and we're going to do a show today, and then I'm going to look into these issues here. But we did have we had an equipment malfunction, but we're going to plow through. So this is what we wanted to talk about yesterday when the stream froze. So something's going on with my hardware here. I need to figure it out, and I will figure it out. But we had an issue yesterday. We had another one today. So something's up, and I need to look into that and fix this up. So I will be looking into that. All right, but in the meantime, let's go to this. So there's been a lot of talk about canceling student debt, which is a very good idea because student debt is crippling our society. And other countries have already figured out education's a public good and should be accessible to the public, especially when you live in the richest country in the frickin' world like the United States. So there's some proposals out here for this, but here's a fun little opinion piece that we're going to go through here. Let's see. Uh-oh. Oh, wait, here we go. All right. There it is. Okay. Bernie Sanders' student loan forgiveness creates more inequality. Okay. Senator Bernie Sanders introduced an ambitious plan this week to cancel all student loan debt. Similarly, Senator Elizabeth Warren's student loan debt forgiveness plan would be funded by a new tax on ultra billionaires. So the College for All Act, which is Bernie Sanders' plan, this would cancel the student loan debt of nearly 45 million Americans who pay an average of $3,000 per year. And subsidize college tuition for low-income individuals underrepresented in certain districts. In total, this plan would cost $2.2 trillion. This would be paid for by new taxes on Wall Street, a 0.5 tax on stock trades, a 0.1 fee on bonds, a 0.005% fee on derivatives. According to Sanders, these taxes would raise more than $2.4 trillion. So it would be enough to pay for it. This costs $2.2 trillion. These Wall Street taxes would raise $2.4 trillion. Okay, so the article could have just ended there. After they say, hey, there's a plan out there to eliminate student debt. Here's how they work. Here's how it's paid for. But here's the opinion part. As a recent college graduate paying off student loan debt, Sanders' plan sounds great to me in theory, but if applied, it would create new kind of inequality among graduates from varying educational backgrounds with differing degrees of debt, and it would be unfair to those who have been consistently paying off their student loans for years. By what standards? How is this? So that's like the equivalent, well, people have different amounts of debt and people have been paying it at different amounts and have been paying it with a different amount of frequency based on their ability. This isn't fair to all them. That's like being like, man, let's say that some good Samaritan came along and told everyone in my apartment complex, hey, do you got a car payment? I'm paying off your car. And everyone in the complex is like, yes, high five, and everyone going, this is awesome. And then one person goes, wait a second, that person's car costs more than my car. So they're getting bigger debt forgiveness than me. That's not fair. I don't want any debt forgiveness at all. And hold on, this person missed a car payment because they're working 2 and 3 jobs to survive. They should be punished, not rewarded for that. And then everyone else in the complex is like, why is this person such an asshole? We know which neighbor we're not going to invite to the picnic. Now, unfortunately, my apartment complex doesn't have a picnic. I wish we did. I think we should. Everyone who's arguing against ending student loan debt, you're that person that no one wants to invite to the picnic. That is who you are. There is nothing. What if we just didn't do anything based on people who didn't have, well, for people who paid off their debt, this isn't fair to them. Okay, well, I guess we should have never had cars, because cars aren't fair to people who had to travel on horseback for so many years. Really wasn't fair to them. I guess it's unfair. I guess it's unfair that we have fast laptops and computers with the internet, because some people had to pay $3,000 for a computer at some point. Getting a little bit of your hair in my nostrils, by the way, Lucy. I guess it's not fair that she gets to have the best cat food available to cats now, when a bunch of cats back in the day, they didn't even have specialized cat food. You get the idea. And, okay, if you don't have student loan debt, well, I don't have any student loan debt. Okay, well, are you going to have kids? Guess what? They're not going to have student loan debt now. That's a pretty good thing. Do you have a small business? More people are going to have expendable income now. Canceling student loan debt benefits all of society, not just people with student loan debt. It benefits everybody. So all these arguments against it can just be traced back to pure selfishness and short-sightedness. If you're going to just, well, I have mine, so fuck everyone else. Okay, that's a shitty attitude. But it actually does benefit you too. And it's such a crippling debt on our society, instituted by predatory loan practices. Oh, well, you agreed to a loan, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, these are predatory loans that back people into a corner. It shouldn't be legal what they're doing and what they've continued to do. So somehow, you know, for the people who are against canceling student loan debt, you don't have a problem with predatory loan practices exploiting people for profit, but you do have a problem with the idea of education as a public good. How backwards is that? The answer is very. It's very backwards. But let's go to this article. Let's see some of the arguments here. So student loan payments depend on several variables: number of years spent in school, salaries, the prioritization of expenses, to name a few. Those who struggle to pay their debt on an entry-level salary, often at the expense of leisurely pleasures like eating out and traveling, will justifiably feel cheated out of Sanders', quote, government bailout. This is what the article calls it. What's wrong with you if your student loan debt gets canceled and all you think about is, man, all that time I spent paying it, and I bet some people didn't pay theirs. Well, fuck them. I mean, if you want policy based off of if everyone thinks it's totally fair or not, and if some people are going to feel that they're cheated or they're going to feel bitter, like, what? Like what the fuck? Like it's just the dumbest way to look at something. And you know what? This is going to transition into the song of the day. The song of the day, Green Day, 86. Now, I'm not the biggest Green Day fan in the world, as of recent especially, but I do like some of their older stuff. And the reason they're the song of the day today, pretty much all of the arguments against student loan debt can be traced back to, hey, there's selfish people in the world, and let's consider their feelings. The anti-student loan debt cancellation crew might as well just call themselves #SelfishLivesMatter. Because that's what this is all. Oh, well, I had less debt than this person, and they're canceling theirs, and they got more, and blah, blah, blah. Someone said, oh, well, they're going to cancel debt for rich people, too. No, because rich people aren't taking out student loans. And again, it benefits everybody. The idea of college as a public good, of education as a public good, benefits everyone. It benefits a populace. It leads to a better society. It leads to an economy with more expendable income. It leads to lower crime. Canceling student debt benefits every single person in this country, whether they have student loan debt or not. Obviously, the people with crippling debt, it benefits them the most, sure, but it benefits everyone. So, the reason Green Day is the song of the day, bringing it back here, I did learn a lot of life's most valuable lessons from punk rock, and I was watching a Green Day documentary one day years ago, I was maybe 10 or 11 years old. I was really young, and there was this like documentary on Green Day, and Green Day singer Billy Joe Armstrong did grow up relatively poor, and they asked him what that was like growing up poor and if it ever bothered him. And he said, my mom taught me to never worry about the people that have more. Because, they talked about how, he grew up in Northern California. There were some rich people around him, but he did not come from means. And he said, my mom taught me early, you should never worry about people who have more. You should never dwell on people who have more and think, oh, they have more than me, lucky them. You should only worry about the people who have less. And that's a great life lesson. And I first heard it from a Green Day documentary. So kudos to Billy Joe in that regard. That's a great life lesson your mom passed on to you. And I think that life lesson is very applicable here. You should never worry about the people who have more. You should worry about the people who have less. Don't worry about someone who maybe got more debt canceled than you got canceled. Or the people who got debts canceled while other folks didn't or you didn't. Worry about the fact that there is a crippling debt situation in this society that is bringing society down. And here's a solution for it that'll better everyone in society. Oh, and all those little Wall Street taxes that are going to pay for it. Guess what? The people on Wall Street are still going to be rich. So don't even get a violin for them. That's absolutely ridiculous. All right, so there's that. Let's see here. So, guys, the debates are happening, which I'm glad we figured out the tech issues here, because the debates are happening. And check out this. This is fun. This is from the New York Times. The first debates are tonight. The first Democratic debates are tonight in Miami. And here is a breakdown of the candidates via a fun little interactive article from New York Times. Check this out. This is kind of fun. All right. The Democratic debates, night one, political dynamics to watch. Now, here you have the list. Bill de Blasio, Tim Ryan, Julian Castro, Cory Booker. He just found out today he was actually running for president. Elizabeth Warren, Beto O'Rourke, stand on something, stand for nothing. Amy Klobuchar, Tulsi Gabbard, Jay Inslee, and John Delaney, who does not have anyone in his family who loves him enough to tell him that he is making a complete fool of himself. And now that Howard Schultz is out of the race, he is a walking punchline. All right. So some of the Democrats, this is according to the article here, some of the Democratic Party's strongest orators, including Senators Elizabeth Warren of Massachusetts and Cory Booker of New Jersey, will be at the center of Wednesday's Democratic debate in Miami, the first of two this week. Miss Warren is the only candidate on the first night who is pulling in double digits. All right, so here you go. Check it out. When you scroll down, it highlights 4 faces. Look at that. Yeah, there they are. They're just all up in there. That's Amy Klobuchar, Beto O'Rourke, stand on something, stand for nothing, Elizabeth Warren, and Cory Booker, he actually turned his head and he said, what? I'm running for president? And that's how that picture happened. Isn't it interesting? That's how it happened. All right, so these 4, the leading candidates on the stage Wednesday night, have different ideologies, policy proposals, and political styles, but they share a common strategy. All are betting big on Iowa. That's very insightful. That's right there, very insightful. They all have a common strategy. They're focusing on the first states that everyone focuses on. That's the common strategy they have. They have differences. Depending on what the donors need, they have a difference in policy. But breaking news, all 4 frontrunners are trying to win this race. Take that home with you. All right, let's see what else is going on in here. Let's scroll down so we can see more pictures. Check it out. Oh, man, now it's just Beto O'Rourke and Elizabeth Warren. So they entered the debate as 2 candidates who are moving in opposite directions. Mr. O'Rourke has struggled to match the hype surrounding his March entry. Yeah, that's because his opponent's not Ted Cruz this time. Then I guess they're saying that Elizabeth Warren's building some momentum. All right, so let's see. There we go. All right, here we got Cory Booker and Beto O'Rourke. Booker is likely to get airtime for his recent back and forth with Joe Biden Jr. about segregationists. And he could use that as a jumping off point to make a splash. All right, and then Beto O'Rourke. All right, so this is Julian Castro. The only thing they have to say about him, he's from Texas. That's literally all they have to say about him. Amy Klobuchar and Elizabeth Warren. Yeah, compared to Amy Klobuchar, Elizabeth Warren is very progressive. This is why they wanted. Check this out. I mean, this is just. We've talked about this on the show. We've mentioned this on the show before. The reason, or I might have said this on other people's show, the reason they put Elizabeth Warren on night one with all of these super moderate candidates is because, or rather, most importantly, the reason they didn't put Elizabeth Warren and Bernie on the same night is because they want her to look like a big progressive. They want people to think that Elizabeth Warren is pretty much the same as Bernie policy-wise, which she isn't. She isn't. But they want people to think that. Now, what they weren't anticipating is that there's a wild card going on night one, and that is Tulsi Gabbard. So hopefully Tulsi Gabbard really gets to pin it to Elizabeth Warren so they know that, no, Elizabeth Warren is not the progressive option the way Bernie is or the way Tulsi Gabbard is, because she isn't. All right. But that's why, in this article, kind of, look, they're pinning her to Amy Klobuchar. And yeah, if you compare Elizabeth Warren to Amy Klobuchar, yeah, Elizabeth Warren's a progressive. Compared to Bernie, no, she's not. Compared to any other country in the world, any other democratic experiment in the world, she's not. She's right-wing. And she's backpedaled so much. All right, so single-issue candidates, they're trying to just paint Tulsi Gabbard as a peace candidate, even though she's progressive on many other issues as well. But they're going to try to kind of just pin her as, oh, she's a non-interventionist, that's it. Jay Inslee, governor of Washington State, running on climate change. All right. Bomb throwers from the wings. Bill de Blasio, mayor of New York City, John Delaney, do not have much in common. No, actually, they do have some things in common. They're boring. They stand on nothing, and nobody wants them to run. Nobody wants them. John Delaney gets his ass handed to him on Twitter daily. Daily. By all kinds of people. One of them, a fucking comedian who streams from his apartment and is having fucking hardware issues as we speak. Almost had to cancel a show today because of hardware issues. A fucking comedian streaming from his apartment. Serves it up to John Delaney on Twitter on a regular basis. Yes, I did. Bill de Blasio, his own city, asked him not to run. Speaking of people who are fucking up in their own cities, Pete Buttigieg, I guess, is night two. All right. So there you go. By the way, they said nothing about Tim Ryan. That article, Tim Ryan is so boring, they had nothing to say about him. Nothing to say about him. They don't get to his summary until the end. So here's the candidates going up tonight. Bill de Blasio, Tim Ryan, Julian Castro, Cory Booker. Just found out today he was running, and I'm sure he's got some cheaper drug bills he can stop. Elizabeth Warren, she'll yell at the banks when the cameras are on, but she will not do much more than that. And she, God, I can't give her the benefit of the doubt anymore. I really can't. You know, it's like she'll take one step forward, she'll do something cool like a good drug bill with Bernie, then she'll take a step back by okaying a military budget, then she'll take a step forward again about student debt, then she'll take a step back with her green military idea. It's just, I can't give her the benefit of the doubt anymore. I really can't. Beto O'Rourke, stand on something, stand for nothing. This guy got attention when he was running against Ted Cruz. Now that he's running against actual progressives, nobody likes him. Oh, and he played bass. He sucks. Amy Klobuchar, Tulsi Gabbard, Jay Inslee, John Delaney, who is really embarrassing himself big time. Even more so compared to all the other people on the stage, and that's saying a lot. All right. So, let's move on here. Hey, the NRA is shutting down their original programming. The National Rifle Association has shut down production at NRA TV. The NRA did not immediately respond to a request for comment. They may continue to air past broadcasts, but its live programming and its on-air personality will no longer be the NRA's public faces. So you mean the NRA, when it comes to programming, is having a ceasefire? Maybe did they just run out of ammo as far as what to put on that screen? Maybe they were doing some original programming and they were like, you know what, guys, we're shooting blanks. We got nothing else. You know what? We just got nothing in the chamber. We got to stop. No more NRA TV. What are you going to do? They just ran out of ammo, the NRA did. It was time. So for those of you, what cable packages include that channel, by the way? I didn't even know it was, so what was it actually on again? Yeah, NRA TV. Okay. Well, that's, there you go. I wonder if they had a stand-up series. That would have been great. If they did a stand-up series. All right. Some more breaking news. Come on. We're going to go out with a bang, NRA TV. All right, that was my last one. All right. We're going to move on. Eric Trump supposedly got spit on in Chicago. All right, let's see what's going on here. Eric Trump says employee at Chicago cocktail bar spit on him. Okay. Eric Trump said an employee at a swanky cocktail bar in Chicago spit on him while he was visiting the venue Tuesday night. He said it was disgusting. All right. He was eating dinner. A waitress approached him and spit on him. And the U.S. Secret Service agent and Chicago police officers reportedly took the woman into custody for roughly 2 hours. It took her that long to sign everybody's autograph. Took her that long to pose for pictures and sign everybody's autograph. You know, I have the same response to Eric Trump's thing as I did when an activist in New York City called out Chelsea Clinton. I laughed and said, good for that person who did that. I don't have any sympathy for an Eric Trump or a Chelsea Clinton. I know you can't control who your parents are, but in this case, they're old enough to make their own decisions, and they are endorsing what their parents stand for and what their parents do. So there you have it. He got spit on in Chicago, and I think the waitress was placed on leave at her gig, probably because her employer thought it'd be a little awkward if they gave her a raise immediately, right? So that happened to Eric Trump. The Secret Service came. The police team showed up over saliva. There you go. Aw, Lucy. Right? Lucy, you're adorable. All right. We got a couple more things to get through, and I'm going to have to... So I'm having a hardware issue today for anyone who tuned in late, and... I got a bunch of stuff that's screwed up, and I had to rearrange some things, and I am currently not connected to power, so my battery is a little low, so we're going to have to speed through here. So that's what we're going to do, and I'm really sorry about the tech issues today. But Beto O'Rourke, here's a policy plan from him. So Beto O'Rourke unveils plan for war tax to improve health care for military veterans. The margins are kind of screwed up on this one. All right, Beto O'Rourke proposes to institute a war tax to help pay for health care to war veterans as part of a plan he unveiled Monday. The plan to improve health care and other services for military veterans also calls for ending U.S. wars in Afghanistan and Iraq, using an estimated $200 billion in savings from ending those wars for veterans' health care services and to help homeless veterans. He also wants to fill all right. So the O'Rourke proposes to set up a trust fund, and I have to plug in the power here. So I've heard about this. Basically, he's going to tax non-military families. Like, that's what he's going to do. He's going to tax non-military families. If you don't have someone in the military, you pay a tax, and then you pay $1,000 in a new tax for each war. So he's saying he's going to end war, but he's giving a revenue incentive for more wars. There's now a revenue incentive. Hey, every time we get a new war, we're going to put this other tax to pay for military benefits. Every new war, we get more taxes. So now there's a tax incentive to go to war. And if you don't have someone in the military, you have to pay this tax. So not only is the military already pretty much a jobs program because we have an economy of war and an economy of death, but now you get punished for not joining the military. And this is under the guise of ending war, not increasing it. Does this make sense to anybody here? It shouldn't, because it's bullshit. This is a bullshit proposal by Beto O'Rourke. We now know some of the details of it. There's more taxes when there's more wars, and if you're not in the military, guess what? You're paying a tax. How would anything like this lead to anything remotely close to peace? Spoiler, it wouldn't. Beto O'Rourke, stand on something, stand for nothing, or stand for something really short-sighted and shitty. All right, Beto. Okay, now, another thing to get prepared for the debates tonight, which I should have done these two things right in a row, but again, we were having some tech issues today, so I kind of had to just dive in. But thanks to Matt Taibbi over at Rolling Stone, there is a drinking game for you for the debates tonight and Thursday. I will not be playing this drinking game. I skimmed this very quickly, and I think I would. I don't think I'd make it. It's very intense. Do this at your own risk. But here is the drinking game for the Democratic debates, should you feel so inclined. The official Democratic debates drinking game. All right, so the first Democratic debates are happening. And here's the game. Debate number 1, that's happening tonight, Wednesday, June 26th at 9 p.m. Eastern Time in Miami. Candidates, again, Mayor Bill de Blasio, Booker, Julian Castro, John Delaney, Tulsi Gabbard, Jay Inslee, Amy Klobuchar, Beto O'Rourke, Tim Ryan, and Senator Elizabeth Warren. I got tired just saying all those dumb names. And then number 2, Michael Bennet, Joe Biden, Mayor Pete Buttigieg, Kristen Gillibrand, Kamala Harris, John Hickenlooper, watching porn with his mom, Bernie Sanders, Eric Swalwell, and Andrew Yang and Marianne Williamson. All right, so here are the rules. Drink a thimble of liquor each time Maddow, Todd, or Swalwell mentions Russia or Putin. Okay, if you literally do that, just that alone, you will be passed out within 10 minutes. You will be passed out drunk within... Well, maybe not, because it's not Maddow's own show, in fairness. If you tried to do that, and we did a joke about that over on the Jimmy Dore show, if you tried to drink every time Rachel Maddow mentions Russia on one of her shows, you will be dead within 20 minutes. It will be incredibly brutal if you try to drink every time Rachel Maddow mentions Russia. Maybe because it's the debates, you'll only be able to do it so much. But I think if you just do that part of the drinking game alone, mentioning, taking a drink every time one of those personalities, Chuck Todd, Rachel Maddow, or Swalwell was the candidate they mentioned, right? Yeah, good luck. That's the candidate. Candidate Swalwell, Maddow, Todd. You drink liquor every time. Okay, getting back to the game here. I am a child of immigrants, meaning drink if Mayor Pete Buttigieg mentions his dad who immigrated to America. If Amy Klobuchar mentions ancestors who arrived with nothing but a suitcase. Sanders mentioned the role of a model father who journeyed across the ocean. If Castro mentions the year 1922, when his grandmother arrived as a 7-year-old orphan. I don't understand the whole thing of taking credit for things your ancestors did that you have nothing to do with. Humble beginnings. If they mention humble beginnings. If Amy Klobuchar mentions her grandpa, the iron ore miner, saving money in a coffee can. Or Elizabeth Warren mentions her family's station wagon. That's a thing that she finds. Is that an indicator of rough times? Like, what's the... So I don't know about this as far as Liz Warren. Did they live in the station wagon? Is that why she's mentioning it? Or is it just... Now, I'm not familiar with that part of Liz Warren. I've never heard about that before. So this is my first exposure to it. I'm not sure the significance. Did they live in the station wagon? And if not, are they just mentioning that she had a station wagon? And if so, here, I guess let's try to find out. Lucy, you make it tough to Google things, because I'm trying to type and your body's here. Okay, did Elizabeth Warren's family live in a station wagon? All right, let's see what Google tells us. Oh, okay. So they lost their station wagon. Okay, that's the situation. She was born and raised in Oklahoma, and she lost her station wagon. Okay, so they had to get rid of the station wagon because times were rough. Okay, so I guess that's the significance of the station wagon. All right, there we go. Well, now we know, and knowing is half the battle, said G.I. Joe. All right, so let's see here. So that's the other part of the drinking game. Working with my sleeves rolled up as an insert real job here. Drink as Swalwell mentions a paper route or serving burritos. Warren mentions waitressing. Buttigieg and Gabbard are in separate debates. So a shot if either of them says as the only veteran on stage. And double shot if Hickenlooper tells the Randy Marsh story. I was a geologist in Colorado, but became a brewpub entrepreneur in an abandoned, forgotten part of Denver with the help of a library book. Or if Andrew Yang unapologetically references going to Exeter and Brown and working at Davis Polk. All right. Number 4. With the support of my beloved family members, if they talk about their family members, take a drink. And my faithful dog or cat, pets are in. Drink if Mayor Pete mentioned dogs Bundy and Truman. Warren mentions golden retriever Bailey. Hickenlooper mentions his rescue mutt. Gillibrand mentions her golden doodle Maple. Ryan mentions his 2 dogs. Swallow mentions his black lab. Double shot if they mention dog by proxy. Booker, who has promised to get a dog if elected. Or Ensley, who doesn't have a dog but who has a son with 2, Pepper and Tilly. I noticed something. Did you notice something too? Lucy, did you notice something? What did you notice, Lucy? Yeah, none of those candidates have cats. Yeah, you noticed that, huh? You know, when I was reading that, I made sure I read through the whole thing because I wanted to see, do any of them have cats? And not one of them had it. How do you feel about that? You know, Lucy, for a long time, as a feminist socialist poet, you've often feel that your views were not represented on the ballot. As a feline, cats, of course, faced religious persecution back in the day. You have never seen any fair treatment from it, any reparations from it, and yet you guys still keep the mice at bay for us. You're very giving creatures. Not one of those candidates mentioned cats. I know. It's not fair. It's not right. I love dogs too. I mean, I love all animals. I don't. I have Lucy here. She's been my companion for a really long time. I'd like to have a dog, but I don't have enough space for it, and I feel like it would stress her out a lot. If we had more space, I would get a dog because then they could be separate easier. But with how little space we have, it would just be too much stress on Lucy, and I don't want that. But not one of those candidates mentioned cats. I know it's wrong, Lucy. It's wrong. I think the only way we can fix this, you need to run. I think Lucy's gonna run. I know it's a very crowded field right now, but Lucy is actually gonna run via her own party. It's actually a political party started by cats, but it is open to all animals and it's humans. It's open to humans too, and that is the Felines Administering Revolutionary Tactics, or the FART Party for short. So Lucy encourages all of you to join her campaign and to become certified members of the FART Party. So, honestly, look into it. No cats represented on that ballot there. No cats at all mentioned. All right, let's get back to the article. To realize the American dream, as George Carlin said it, they call it the American dream because you have to be asleep to believe in it. But drink if Castro says the American dream shouldn't be just a dream. Klobuchar mentions our shared dream. Swalwell mentions what happened to the American dream. Or if John Hickenlooper mentions a wet dream where he was fantasizing about watching porn with his mom. That guy's a sicko. Anyway, which are under attack. Drink anytime any candidate says democracy, the free press, the American dream, freedom, voting rights, sovereignty, under attack under Donald Trump. Double shot if anyone uses the term existential threat. You will die if you do this drinking game, by the way. If you literally do this drinking game, I hope Matt Taibbi, I know that he do this at your own risk. And I know Matt Taibbi endorses that if it's not actually in the article. Play this game at your own risk. Use your discretion. Because if you do this literally, holy shit, you're going to be hammered. At the very least. By a man who puts children in cages. Drink every time mentioned the word cages. Yeah, doing that alone, you'll be hammered. And has fostered a culture of division. Drink when Hickenlooper, stumbled over that one. Drink when Hickenlooper, porn mom dude, mentions a canyon of division. Biden mentions the divider in chief, blah, 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 blah. But Trump. This is a fantastic drinking game. Those are 9 magical rules. You will be hammered beyond comprehension if you actually play this drinking game. But very funny summary by Matt Taibbi. Very excellent job as usual. Always love that guy's stuff. We're going to have a feel-good story to end the show today. And this is my first hearing of this. This was sent to me by Tim, one of our regulars, Tim, over in New Mexico. And he actually knows this person. So this seems like a really cool story. It seems like a feel-good story. And Tim actually knows the woman in this story. So let's go to it. One of our regulars, Tim, is familiar. This blind and autistic woman has a singing voice that will blow you away. A blind and autistic woman has left people on the internet stunned after a video of her sublime singing went viral this week. So I haven't seen this, but this is 24-year-old Lavender Darkangelo, and she was recorded on Sunday by Rufus Gifford, who worked as U.S. ambassador to Denmark under the Obama administration. Gifford had been invited to Fitchburg, Massachusetts as a guest speaker by Will Darkangelo, 49, a minister at the First Parish Church. Okay, so though Gifford was there to support the service, which was geared toward LGBTQ people, that's cool. He wasn't. I'm assuming that means in favor of, right? Yeah, geared towards. I'm assuming that means in favor of. He wasn't expecting to be blown away by the singing voice of the minister's daughter. Okay, so when Gifford heard Lavender sing Part of Your World from The Little Mermaid, he told BuzzFeed News he immediately texted his sister, "Is she as good as I think she is?" And according to Gifford, his sister started crying. That's how good it was. Will Darkangelo, who legally adopted Lavender, along with his husband Jamie and 48. All right, so clearly this is a pro-LGBTQ church. Whenever you see geared towards something, you're like, well, that's for, right? I hope so. All right, so that's good. That's a good thing. So they've been teary-eyed about all the responses to Lavender's big cabaret debut. That's awesome. Good for her. All right. So that's a pro-LGBTQ church, which is awesome. And here's their blind autistic woman who has a fuck of a great singing voice. And, dude, they're mixing and matching chucks. That's freaking awesome. This picture is cool as hell. Look at that. Good for them. I've always felt at some point people would notice her because here in Fitchburg, she's quite the little celebrity and her story is so touching. And Will is also a professional singer and vocal coach to his daughter. Well, that's cool. And Tim knows them. That's really neat. Maybe Tim, in the chat, you can tell us some stuff, share some stuff with us. There's a feel-good story. There's a feel-good story. We need them occasionally. And that's really cool. Check out the video. Lavender Darkangelo. I'm sure if you just Google it, that's Levender Darkangelo. We're not going to show the video here because of copyright issues, but totally check out the video. I'm going to be checking it out as well. Nice feel-good story to end the stream today. Let me see what you guys are saying, and then we're going to dismount. All right. Sorry about the issue earlier. Anne-Marie, thank you so much for the Super Chat contribution. Gotta run. Glad to see you back, Ron. Bye, Shani. Thank you, Anne-Marie, for that. I know you're not on the stream, but it is much appreciated. Let's see. Balthazar, thank you very much for the super chat contribution. It was amazing to meet you in person. The messaging should be, student loans and student debt are a shitty thing. They shouldn't have happened to me or anyone else. I'm glad they're gone. No one says stitches just hurt those who had to suffer through leeches. Ha! Love it. Balthazar also says, wait, Beavis got spat upon by a real woman? Whoa, that's cool. That was a bad Beavis and Butthead. I used to nail a frickin' Beavis and Butthead impression when I was in middle school. Now I can't do it anymore. I lost it. That's a sign of getting older. That's depressing. That's bothering me. That's bothering me. What are you guys doing for the debates tonight? I think I'm probably going to stream after. The debates. Philip says Chucks. Yes, Chuck Taylors. That was the shoes that they were wearing in that photo. Tim says they are super cute together. Trust me, I know. That's awesome, Tim, and thank you so much for sharing that. Chris says, I need a live chat to talk with progressives during the debates. I'm going to be live tweeting, and then I think I'm going to go live stream after the debate. I'm pretty sure I'm going to do that. And then I'm also going to kick my camera for no fucking reason. And I'm going to kick my camera. Man, crazy tech day. I'm so sorry, y'all. I'm a mess today. I apologize for that. Statutory, I'm going to drink and have a right and wrong buzzer. You're going to be using that wrong buzzer a fucking lot, Statutory. By the way, it was awesome to meet you in person. I'll be asleep after the debate, says Chris. Stupid work. Well, I'm not going to have a live stream. Or I'm not going to have a long stream, rather. I'm going to stream live. But it's not going to be too live. Adulthood sucks, says Laura. Yeah, it does. My Beavis and Butthead thing sucks now. Lady, I thought you were 27 since 33. I am. Thank you for noticing. Let's see. Tim says that they are an island of awesome in a Trump-dominated central Massachusetts. Cool. Emberg, nice meeting you in Boston. It was awesome meeting you in Boston, Emberg. Thank you very much for everything, and thanks for chatting. It was really cool to meet you. Steve, good to see you. Jeffrey, by stream, do you mean throw up? I hope not. I do mean live stream, but I may do that stream earlier, before the live stream, if it is that nauseating. Guys, we are totally out of time. Thank you so much. I had a hardware issue earlier today. I don't know the issue there. I'm going to look into it. I got to fix this. We had an issue yesterday, too. So I got to figure out some stuff here. I'm just getting back. So, yeah, I guess some adjustments are in order, which means, hey, if you're thinking about becoming a patron, now's a great time. I want to expand this show. I want to do more guests. I want to do more streams. I want to do more content. I did some videos from the road. I really enjoyed doing those. I want to do more of those. So if you are so able, please consider a monthly contribution to help expand this show. You get all kinds of exclusive content. You get a bunch of comics written by Lucy, little dialogues between me and Lucy. You get my album. You get all kinds of stand-up clips not available to the public. You get all kinds of cool stuff, and it's for a give what you can level. No matter what you give, everyone gives all the same stuff. So if you have an extra $1 a month to spare, please consider throwing it my way. If you don't, totally understand. No worries. Please like these videos, share these videos, make sure you're subscribed. When you watch all the videos, have a little autoplay thing going on in a separate window so all the ads play through. And don't just do that for me, do that for all the content creators you love, because that helps sustain our channel. Yeah. Oh, by the way, tour dates, I got them. July 27th, we're coming back to Vegas, baby. Come see the Progressive Comedy Tour in Vegas. It's a Saturday night, so if you're in Vegas, we'll see you there. If you're planning a crazy weekend in Vegas, do it the weekend of July 27th. Come out and see us. Tickets for that show available at ronplagone.com. September 6th, Madison, Wisconsin. September 7th, Minneapolis, Minnesota. We're coming. Also, these dates have just been confirmed. We do not have tickets yet, but they are soft confirmed, so we should have all the information soon. September 5th, we're going to be in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and September 8th, we're going to be in Lincoln, Nebraska. So we're coming to the Northern Plains. Tickets are available now for Madison, September 6th, and Minneapolis, September 7th. I can't wait to see you, Minneapolis and Madison. And we're also going to be summoned to Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and Lincoln, Nebraska. Should have that hammered in very, very soon. Guys, thank you for being part of this. I really appreciate it. Thank you for bearing with me through the tech glitch there. This has been Get Your News On with Ron, the world's first viewer-curated streaming news show. Lucy's been an awesome co-host today. Consider the news gotten. Doesn't even make sense. But you know the drill. Lucy says meow. I say peace. Peace. We might be streaming later after the debates tonight. I hope to see you then. If not, we'll for sure see you tomorrow. Same time, same channel. 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific time. Right here on YouTube. Good to be back. Peace.